the asbestos issue is not a thing of the past. It continues to this day.
We want to end this man-made disaster.
So let's ban asbestos. Well, it gives me great pleasure to present 2 awards tonight in the Dr. Irving Selikoff Lifetime Achievement Award category. The first awardee is Dr. David Egilman. And first and foremost, I've been instructed that I'll be thrown off the stage if I don't say this, but I understand, as well as she does, that first and foremost, I want to thank Dr. Egilman's wife for putting up with him. And I want to thank her for allowing him to do the work that he does throughout the world. I first met Dr. Egilman in the early 1980s when he came to the National Institute for Occupational Safety and Health as a young medical officer. And Dr. Egilman is an unfatigable, I've got competition, so I'm sorry, is an unfatigable advocate for workers and all of those who suffer from oppression, as well as those who fall through the safety net of society. He is a clinical associate professor of family medicine at Brown University's Alpert Medical School and has authored multiple publications. One I will mention is a publication called ABC, Anything But Chrysotile, a critique of the Canadian asbestos mining industry and McGill University chrysotile studies. I don't know how many times that article is cited to me. What do you think of Dr. Egilman's paper when I'm testifying? And it is really a great paper. I would ask all of you to read it. He's also the editor-in-chief of the International Journal of Occupational and Environmental Health. In my opinion, David is probably today, and has been for many decades, one of the strongest advocates for the prevention and banning of asbestos-related usage throughout the world, and also for revealing the truth. I'm reminded of what Paul Brodeur, the writer for The New Yorker who wrote Expendable American and Outrageous Conduct, once said in a speech that I heard him give. If you really want to find the truth, and he leaned over the podium and he said, you've got to get down and pull up the corner of the rug and look under it. Well, that's what Dr. David Egilman does. He gets down on the floor and gets dirty and pulls up the rug and gets the truth and never goes away from telling that truth and confronting those that need to be confronted. I think that he represents what Dr. Selikoff dedicated his life to doing, is bringing out the truth and the science about the hazards of asbestos and what we can do to prevent those hazards from asbestos. And it gives me great pleasure, and I've only got a minute, or I could talk the rest of the night about Dr. Egilman, but I've only got 1 minute, and I've probably gone over that, but I really, truly believe he is very deserving of this award. And I know Dr. Selikoff knew David, and I know Dr. Selikoff would be proud to say, David's getting an award in my name tonight.
Okay, well, thank you all so much. It's been moving being here, hearing your stories. Trying to avoid your stories is what I've tried to dedicate my life to do. I want to thank my wife for putting up with me, because it's really true. And my kids, Alex is here in the back, for the time that I didn't apologize to them, for the time I didn't spend with them, the things I didn't do with them because I was trying to help other people avoid catastrophes. And I want to read something which tries to explain why I do what I do and why I do it the way I do it. I also want to thank the factory workers at the Stride White Shoe Factory, where my father worked, because I got a scholarship from that place, and that's what allowed me to stand here in front of you. This is, I think, did the Crane Company get notice that I was getting this tonight? So, okay, well, I'll try to, I don't think I can shout it that loud, and I'm not quiet. Okay, those who profess to favor freedom yet deprecate agitation are men who want crops without plowing up the ground. They want rain without thunder and lightning. They want the ocean without the awful roar of its waters. Power concedes nothing without a demand. It never did, it never will. Find out just what people will submit to, and you've found out the exact amount of injustice and wrong which will be imposed upon them. These will continue until they are resisted, with either words or blows, or with both. The limits of tyrants are prescribed by the endurance of those whom they oppress. And so I appreciate your work, along with others in and outside this room, who fight to make sure that those tyrants fail and that lives can live their natural course, as can we, in peace and harmony.